Hello everyone, this is Resong the Jug Gamer and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last time, we finished up Act 1 with Vin. So now we're in Act 2 and the fun's just beginning. Finally get through my not post-game day, I finally could do my normal commentary style. Yes! I'm so happy. Anyways, it's already 8:30, but this morning class has not yet begun. We were supposed to have physics, but the teacher's nowhere to be seen. If I'd known this beforehand, I would have slept in too. Suddenly, the class door room slams open and Muto grunts his morning greetings to us from the doorway. Good morning, everyone. Muto looks like he has not slept at all. The stubble, his messier than normal hair, and the strained dress shirt created a less than favorable impression. I guess he had fun last night at the festival too. Excuse me for being late. I ran into unexpected problems. I'm usually not one for festivals like this, but I hope you all had a good time. After all, those sort of events are important for you all, since they gave you a short reprieve from schoolwork. The class replies with the various degreements of enthusiasm, and Muto proceeds to take roll and get started. Right then, today's subject is photon particle physics. Okay. That sounds advanced, but okay. Before long, I've descended into a comfortable, coma-like state along with the rest of the class, letting Muto's rambling speeches pass through one ear and exit the other without leaving a trace. Now, who could tell us the solution to this problem? He's written a rather easy equation on the board. Desperately, he tries to get the class to participate. Nobody? Come on, guys! Nakai, how about you? Unfairly singled out and concerned, I gave him an answer, causing the shaggy features to twist into a genial smile that would scare little children senseless. Precisely. Good work, Nakai. I'm both disturbed and honored by the fact that you can remember my name only 1 week after I transferred here. From what I've seen, Muto has serious trouble remembering the names of anyone else in class. Most of them have been here since the first year. Okay. The class settles into a dreary mood, students and teacher alike trying to get back on track after the festival. I figure last week must have been frantic for everyone. Not a minute too soon, the lunch bell rings. Make way! Important business! To my head, just in time to see other people scattering out of the hallway as someone charges from the far end of the corridor towards the stairwell. Still like to realize I'm standing in the middle of the middle of the corridor, directly in the way of the oncoming human projectile. Trying to get back towards the doorway. Unfortunately, the person running towards me dodges in the same direction. Following a fraction of a second, several things come to mind in sequence, yet almost simultaneously. First, I recognize the girl that was on the collision course with me as Emmy. Second, I realize that it somehow feels very natural to be tackled by Emmy once again. I can almost feel comfortable if not for the reflexive panic and terror. Third, Emmy seems to be carrying a foot-tall stack of papers while running in the hallway. She crashes into me, but at least the impact was grazing one of my arms this time. Owie! Why does this always happen to me? Gee, I wonder, could it possibly have anything to do with you running through the corridor like you were on fire? She whimpers regretfully, looking like a hurt puppy. The sight makes me regret my snappish comment that very instant it emerges from my lips. But I was in a hurry. I can tell. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Emmy wails weakly one last time, rubs her forehead as if to expel the ache while her gaze sweeps over the hallway floor. As she notices her neat stack of papers spread all over the floor in one big mess. She lets out a horrified yelp. Ah! The printouts! Oh no, what am I going to do? The teacher will give me hell if they get dirty! Probably fine. Let's gather them back up. It won't be a problem. Quickly round up the papers and Emmy tries to sort the scattered pile in her hands, back into the only stack it was. Where are you going? No one in particular, I guess. Didn't want to be left alone with Muto in the classroom. I think he has a hangover. Have you eaten lunch? Not yet, but I'm not feeling very hungry anyway. She looks at me incredulously, as if doubting my sanity for letting such a thing out of my mouth. You should go to the roof. I promised Rin I would eat lunch with her. I bet she'd like company. Uh-oh, my lunches with Rin have been remarkably unsuccessful. We only had one, didn't we? Oh wait, yeah. Never mind, when we the festival, that's right. I know where this conversation is going, and it's hard to not get drawn along. So I have little choice but to play the ball. Okay, I'll go pick up some bread or something first. Emmy smiles brightly before I say anything further. No, I'll go deliver the super quick and then go buy lunch for us. And Vin too, of course. What kind of bread would you like? It's fine, you really don't need to. Don't worry, it's alright. Consider it an apology. I'll be back before you know it. That's what I'm worried about. Don't get into another accident. Emmy starts walking down the hallway, but since she's still talking to me, she isn't watching where she's going. I won't! Famous last words, she's already jogging down the stairs as she shouts that not so reassuring promise back to me. I start plodding along in a wake, but instead of taking the stairs down, I climb upwards. The stairwell up to the roof is unlit and just as creepy as it was before. The door squeaks weakly in protest as I push it open. Red is there too, like Emmy said, laying on her back on the other side of the pebble-covered rooftop for some reason. Predicting something unnecessarily strange again, I walk to her as slowly as possible. Hello. She sounds very drowsy as she says that, stretching the end of the word with a slurred voice. Despite that, her eyes are wide open. I look down at her, my shadow overlapping her face. What are you doing? Rin raises an eyebrow. I thought you had a heart problem, not an eye problem. She answers, challenging the rationale of my perfectly valid question without even tilting her head to look at me. Rin's smart-ass comments are infuriating. The worst thing is that I'm not sure if she's doing it on purpose or not. Alright then, let me rephrase. Why are you laying on your back on the rooftop? She gives a lazy shrug and sniffs dismissively. I'm trying to experience. People probably don't do this enough. What exactly are you trying to experience here? You can't really tell, but there's probably a reason people don't do whatever. She's playing dodgeball with me again. Assuming my attempt at small talk with riddles I don't want to puzzle out. I don't want to ignore her either. Yeah, but the reason is that everyone is too busy with their lives to pay attention to the really important things. Like watching the sky? She tears her gaze away from the sky and finally looks straight at me. The penetrating deepness of her eyes, once she focuses them on something, is startling. You know, if you were a girl, I would be able to see your panties. If I was a girl, I wouldn't come this close to anyone who tried to sneak a peek at my panties. I have that much common sense. I wouldn't either, but sometimes it can't be avoided. Like now, for example. To tell you the truth, I don't even really want to peek at your panties, though. Underpants are the soul of a girl. You shouldn't peek at someone else's soul, even if you are not the girl. As a guy, I guess I can understand that. To us, there's some sort of half-mythical object that we can't quite comprehend. Yeah, that's exactly how I think about them too. What a coincidence. It really is. So, did you have world history in the morning class? I skipped class. To do this? Well, I'm not actually doing what it looks like I am doing. At least, I think that's what. I am not what I'm doing doesn't look like what I look like, but from your perspective, probably. Yeah, I skipped class to do this. I guess whatever your reason is as good as any. Giving in the tired feeling in my legs, I sit down on the roof next to Ren. The pebbles are not the most comfortable bed in the world, but if she can stand it, then I should be able to as well. What are you waiting for? Hmm? Try it. Bend my neck backwards to take a look at where she is looking. The silvery blue sky dotted by herds of cloud sheep fills my field of vision entirely. While it's pretty, the view is nothing special, even though the weather is fair. I give a shrug, try my best to imitate the nonchalant manner of which Rin seems to have evolved to perfection, and lie down on my back. The stones poke at my back through my thin shirt whenever I shift my weight, even a little, forcing me to keep as still as possible. Try to ignore the discomfort in myself, instead concentrating at the vastness over us. Far above, the summer clouds drift soundlessly across the dome of the sky. Neither of us have anything more to say, and thus silence covers the rooftop. The subdued noises of students on their lunch break, cicadas in the trees, and traffic buzzing past the school are humming pleasantly somewhere in the background. Listen, I had a great time yesterday. Did you? Well, to be honest, no. But it was alright. It was probably the longest time I've ever sat at one place without doing anything, which is kind of impressive. Try to make it sound as convincing as possible. Is that impressive? I think it is. I'm usually too restless to do anything like that. I think I had a good time too. Cloud passes above us, casting a shadow on the school. A chill surges through me from the sudden change of sunlight to shade. I realize that summer is not in its full bloom quite yet. The only measure of time passing is the slow pace of the clouds moving towards the town. Stray beams of golden sunlight leak through the gaps, blinding me for a moment whenever they hit me directly in the eyes. The blue of the sky looks so unreachable. This reminds me of the time I spent in the hospital, where I was bored out of my mind on a daily basis. Somehow it didn't matter after a while. I learned to appreciate other things besides watching TV and gossiping with people I don't even like. Comprehensive sensation of calmness spreads from my sight to my other senses, finally hitting my brain. An airplane zooms by, leaving two thin contrails in its wake like a pair of chalk lines, drawn from one end of the sky to the other. Wonder where it's heading. The low din of this engine carries all the way down to my ears, although it's barely audible over the racket of the quad. It's nice. It's nice, but I don't understand why this is more important than going to class. Isn't it good to do something you like? Every once in a while? Of course, but... What are you doing? Emmy has stuck up on us so that neither of us noticing, and is only one step away from me, holding several packages wrapped in plastic films around her arms. She leans forward and peeks over me, overshadowing my face almost exactly the same way I overshadowed him before. Don't look! I don't want to bring Censor Wii back yet! I wonder how weird this looks. The two of us lying on our backs on the rooftop. He already is asking for vacation time with how much work he did. Please don't give me another reason. That's what I asked, too. I would be more concerned about what you are doing. If I were you, I wouldn't come that close to people who could see your panties. Rin! Good! Oh. Censor Wii can take his break, good. Emmy's voice is scandalized, but she quickly takes a step backwards, pressing her hand against the front of her skirt so abruptly that the parcels of bread she was carrying fall. Quickly avert my eyes, glancing angrily at Rin. She pretends not to see me. It's always like that, right? Right. Emmy scowls at Rin and crouches down to pick up the packages. She wipes the dust off them and skips lithely around me to Rin's other side, where she sits herself down. Anyway, here's your bread. Sorry it took a while. That's alright, thanks for treating me. I put myself up into a sitting position and gratefully accept the bread Emmy is offering. All three of us ravenously dig into the simple meal. The bread is surprisingly decent and readily fills my stomach. Follow from the corner of my eye the skill with which Rin handles her bread between her feet. I haven't seen you on the track in a few days. Oh, right. I figured it was a too heavy route for me to start with. So you've been doing something else? I've been considering my options. She frowns but doesn't pursue the issue further, for which I'm thankful. Emmy seems pretty headstrong. I wouldn't really want to get pestered about her about this on a daily basis. I've had enough burdens to bear with Shizune and Misha already. Barely finished the lunch before the bell rings, calling us back to our classrooms. Hee-chan! Misha waves at me as soon as I enter and starts talking before I even make my way across the classroom. How was your festival? Did you have fun? Still somewhat undecided on that. I'd say probably. Why? Just asking, just asking! Her eyes glint in a way that tells me she's not just asking. Can't even start to guess her motives though. As the well-timed entrance of the English teacher prevents us from talking further, Misha falls back to plan B. I was there all day with Cheetan. We had a lot of fun. Are you supposed to be doing work? Don't worry, everything went really well. I don't reply to that, and she leaves me alone after Shizune demands her attention. My own attention, on the other hand, is directed out the windows. Now that I look at it from here, though the window and the foliage just outside, the sky seems smaller. Catch only small glimpses of blue. Everything else is cluttered of noise right in the middle of my field of vision. What experience did Rin want out of this staring at the sky? Surely she's done it before. Everyone has. It's no use trying to guess her mind. But if I don't do that, then I have no excuse for not concentrating on the teacher's words. Look at the scribbles appearing on the blackboard, trying to figure out the meaning with little success. English really is not my favorite subject. We have a strong mutual dislike for each other. You and me both. Thick, hot afternoon light invades the corridor, making the air feel heavy and lazy. My body feels weighed down by it as I drag it two doors down the hallway at the art classroom. Maybe this is part of the reason why I didn't join in clubs before. Afternoons just unsuited for activity. I knock on the door for the art room and open it. A girl who is possibly doing something important with a scroll of paper she's carrying turns to beckon me. It smiles in a sweet, if a bit confused manner. Hello? This is the art club, right? Yes. You interested in joining? Yeah, in fact, I might have already done so, but we'll see. Give her a weak smile, and her own widens a notch, making me feel less nervous. Great, have a seat, then. We'll start when the teacher gets here. Without even scouting the room for a good spot, I walk quickly to the back of the room and set myself on a free seat, apart from everyone else. A few other members are lounging in their seats, waiting for the teacher. Rin sits alone in a window seat, looking outside. She's the only person here that I know, although a guy I've never really gotten along with for my own class is here too. Uh-oh. Nobody else comes to greet me. Maybe introductions are left for later? So I just settle for a silent observation as well. One boy has sunglasses on. An odd sight indoors. Well, we're not at Yamaku. I bet he's the blind student Rin was talking about. The wait proves to be extremely short. Nomiya walks over to stand behind his desk in 3 long strides, then gives a smile and a flamboyant greeting. Good afternoon, everyone! First things first, Hisao there is a new member, so everyone get along with him. He winks at me unsettlingly. All 8 members of the club, including myself, answer his greetings with considerably less enthusiasm. Still, people finally straighten up in their seats and begin to pay attention. I think some of you still have projects to work on, so please continue those if you like. As for the rest, I was thinking that today we can do some rough studies. How does that sound? Nobody answers except some small intangible murmurs, which Nomiya apparently interrupts as anonymous approval. Alright then, everyone not working on other projects, choose a partner and draw a sketch of one another. You should be able to complete this today, but if not, we can continue it next time, or even do it again if you find it interesting. Remember to pay attention to lighting and shadow, and give it your best! Pairing up? I feel pretty awkward about it. Hardly knowing anyone else here, I wish someone would ask me to be their partner, even if I knew the people there. I would still rather have them come up to me and ask me to be their partner. I hate being in social situations. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I've always been the kid that, I'm pretty sure I already said this, but I've always been the one to try to be alone. Because I don't exactly like people, sometimes. People stand up and move their chairs closer together, but nobody comes to me. Pretty soon, everyone else has paired off. Friends team up with each other, but I'm left alone. Well, there is Rin. She's sitting in the furthest corner of the classroom, still staring out the window and seemingly uninterested in taking part in the exercise. Since she's the only other one without a partner, I walk to her seat. I can see her face because her hair is covering most of it, and she's looking away from me. Rin? Call out to her. No response. Hey, want to partner up? You're the only one I know here. She seems to finally acknowledges my presence, head turning like a robot as she looks to see who's addressing her. Rin doesn't answer, and I don't want to repeat the question either. I'm sure she heard it the first time. Why doesn't she say anything? It can't be such an awful fate to be paired up with me, can it? She doesn't look at my face and instead stares directly at my chest and stomach. Oh, okay. Why not? Okay, good, great. I'll get the stuff for us. Yep, okay. This is great. Looking at the equipment, Nomiya's had prepared for today's meeting confuses me. Instead of graphite or pencils, we are apparently supposed to do ink sketches. Never done anything like that before. Teacher, however, seems confident in my abilities to adapt to this medium. Simple! First you do the outline in ink, you let them dry, then you shade with the diluted ink. This is called India ink. It looks like watercolors. If you're uncomfortable with it, use a pen instead for a brush for the outlines. Got it. Pick up paper, water cups, 1 pen for me, 1 brush for Rin, and ink for both of us. Then return to Rin. Grabbing a vacant chair from nearby, I sat myself directly opposite of her. Do you want to do it with my foot or my mouth? What did you say? She shook her head, her brows forming questioning arcs, as if she doesn't understand that I didn't understand the question. I don't mind drawing either way. You look better if I do it with my foot, though. With your foot then, if it's all the same to you. Nodding in answer, Rin gets up from her seat and kicks off her sandals. With fluid motion, she picks up a paper sheet and drops it on the floor, then snatches the brush between her toes before setting it on the floor in a weird half cross-legged position. Though I've seen her do everything with her feet already, from eating to painting, this display of dexterity is so prodigious that I just stare at her, stunned. Ren contemplates her blank paper intently. The sharp tip of her brush hovers over the paper in anticipation. She raises her head to see if I'm ready. I quickly turn my face away. I'll go first. Make a pose. What kind of pose? It doesn't matter. That's the point. You have to make the sketch of the impression you get, not decide beforehand. I end up just sitting in my chair, my hands hanging limply between my knees. I look at her, and she looks at me for a moment before beginning. Rin's stare is piercing but impassive, as if she were trying to absorb a part of me into her own self. I feel like I'm physically shrinking upon the pressure of her gaze. I get the feeling that for the first time since we met, Rin is actually looking at me, instead of in my general direction. She sketches with confidence, bold sweeps of the delicate brush, not caring about the potentially destructive consequences of an accidental misplaced stroke. After she's done with the outlines, she stands up to pose for me, stretching her back and legs. This time, she doesn't look at me. Instead, Rin lets her gaze wander around the room. I'm relieved. It's easier to stare at someone when they aren't staring back at you. Even so, I find it hard to get the sketch going. I'm not especially artistically talented, so I'm scared my portrait will turn into something disfigured. Especially when compared to my partner's skill. That anxiety. I don't want to embarrass myself too badly on the first try. Rin is not helping the process either. She doesn't stand still for even 10 seconds, tilting her head from side to side to judge her drawing. Biting at her lower lip, looking unsatisfied and constantly shuffling around like she was on hot coals. Finally managed to get some headway on my sketch, and with my outlines done, we both start inking in the shadow and light. Nomiya passes by and remarks on the beginning of our sketches. Very good! Standing figure is easier for a beginner to get the grasp of. But I didn't choose the pose. Look at him and then Rin in confusion, but he's already moving on to the next pair, and Rin seems unresponsive. Just like when she was painting the mural, Rin has become so engrossed with her work that it seems like she has shut me, the classroom, and the entire world itself out from her own little sphere of existence. Even now and then, she leans backward, seemingly to get some perspective. Sometimes she bends forward, leaning down onto her nose, almost touches the paper. This fucking back and forth looks silly. Suddenly, Rin proves she hasn't completely drifted off into a world of her own and speaks. Are you having fun already? She doesn't raise her eyes from the drawing, which is a good thing. Breaking up the silence sends a jolt of surprise through me, as if I'm electrocuted. I don't know yet. It is hard to say. I can't hear how she replies to my answer because it seems she is suddenly having a private whispering conversation with her sketch. I don't understand how she can draw so well while she still has the attention span of a butterfly. As it seems she has lost her interest, I go back to the work on my drawing as well. Try to add texture to Rin's hair to somehow grasp the way the golden afternoon sun lights her bright tassel of flame. Transfer it to my paper in shades of black and grey. Somehow this pen and the bottle of ink seem like such lousy, inadequate tools for the task. Minutes pass, but the sketch doesn't magically look any more like Rin than it did before. Her voice wakes me up from my despair. What about now? Excuse me? Are you having fun already? Why do you keep asking that? Because it's a club, right? Clubs are meant to be fun. You join to have fun. Are you having fun? Is it important that I'm having fun? Yes. Okay, I'm having fun. Good. I wonder if I just said that just to please or if I really meant it. I can't really decide which is which. I don't hate this, though. I can't honestly say that much. It's good enough for now. As the allotted time to finish the studies quickly ticks away, I just really tried to improve my awful sketch, but it doesn't seem to get any better. I'm gonna start again from scratch, but what would be the point? It's no time for that either. Okay, everyone, that's it for today. Please turn in the drawings on my desk, and I'll see you all next Monday. Oh, that's actually not bad! Oh, that's actually good! I glanced at my portrait. It doesn't exactly look like Rin. I guess you could say it portrays her, but that might be a bit generous. The nose and jaw look hideous, and the shading is terrible. Granted, it's my first attempt at drawing with ink, but it's still pretty bad. Dude, that's pretty good! Like, ugh. That's not bad. She seemed left behind me when I was lost in thought. Damn it, I was hoping I could smuggle the portrait to the teacher without you seeing it. Why? I'm not really happy with it. I wish I could draw better. You just need some practice. Could you take my drawing to the teacher too? Curious myself about how the sketch turned out, and peek at the picture from the way Rina was drawing. I think she was really into it. Oh damn! It's excellent. Somehow the seemingly arbitrary strokes come together to form the image of my face. From the shape of my chin and the messy hair to somewhat gloomy expression. You probably shouldn't be admitting that, buddy. Blows my mind. You're amazing! Wow, you're amazing. It's not that amazing, but thanks. Take a closer look at her walk. It's still glistening with slowly drying ink. You know, I look kind of grim here. You do look kind of grim. I mean, I agree. But it's also true otherwise, too. Like this you, not the you I made. I do? I think so, at least. Her simple statement makes me suddenly feel incredibly self-conscious. I feel like I need a mirror right now. To confirm or debunk Rin. It's a nasty feeling. Maybe it's just her. I hope it's just her. That I don't look like the sketch to anyone. It's a good sketch, but somehow I get a really opposite feeling from it. I see. Anyway, it looks really good. You really are amazing. Thanks. I'm glad I could draw you. You are an interesting person. You're an interesting person too, but that didn't help me much. My self-deprecation has no limits today, but Rin ignores it. I knew that I could never compare, but to see the difference with my own eyes is quite humbling. See, I try to make you look like you think a lot, since you did a lot of thinking. And yeah, I might have overdone the fed up with life expression, but cynics are like that, right? I wanted to retort something snappy as well, but Adoria gives me no time to think, ushering us to the door. Hurry up, you two! Well, we've been chatting, the rest of the club has taken their leave. I quickly pick out our drawings and take them to the teacher's desk before hurrying after Vin, who has already left the classroom. She's down in the hallway to my surprise. I wonder where she managed to run off to in just a few seconds. Would have been nice to talk more. Well, not that I have much to say, except maybe get back at her for calling me a cynic. It's surprisingly late. I would have got used to school ending at the same time every day, so I could feel the extra hours in my head and my gut. The growling stomach reminds me that I am absolutely ravenous. So hungry that I could dare to try anything the cafeteria staff has deemed edible. Scene change, so I'm gonna end it here. We have 30 minutes. That's all for this time. This is Restarting the Drug Gamer. I hope you enjoyed the series so far, and I'll see all you guys again next time. See you guys then.